So today we're going to install a rear sway bar for this 2018 Forester. This applies to the 2014 to 2018, and the aftermarket sway bar we'll be installing is a 20mm Whiteline adjustable sway bar with some support braces. So let me go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. Alright, so check it out. This is the rear sway bar, and it came shipped exactly like this. So it came in this bag that I cut open, but it is protected by this foam material that was just kind of zip tied around the corners. It didn't come in a box, so I think that prevents it from being scratched or kind of dented up during shipping. And then it comes with these stickers. But more importantly, this is the main part. You can see here is the part number 708246 right over there. And over here are the rear support arms. So part number 715280. So these are braces that protect the sway bar from actually damaging the OEM mounting. So these things are running a lot stronger or stiffer, so it just prevents any of that flex or just kind of tearing that OEM mounting point. So they do give you replacement bolts here and some lubricant, so you're going to replace your OEM bolts on the bottom only with these two bolts and the washers with the self-locking. And then over here are the new bushings they give you. They look to me like they're polyurethane, and these are the lateral locks that just go next to the bushings. So this is the first time I've seen these things, but I think these lateral locks are just, they say it's supposed to help against moving the sway bar, just kind of a preventative piece here. So pretty excited about it. Let's go ahead and jump into the installation, but this is all the parts you get right out of the box.
Alright, check it out. We have the Forester jacked up on the back side. What I did was, if you look at one of my videos, it's how to lift your Forester. I talk about the jack points, but I basically lifted it up from the differential and put jack stands on the corners. So now we're ready to work on the rear sway bar. If you can see here, this is just the left side or the driver's side. We have the sway bar bushing and the links there. You can see this is the sway bar right over here that I'm touching, and then it's connected by the sway bar end links to that lower rear control arm. So what we're gonna have to do is remove the sway bar end link from the lower control arm, disconnect it, and then we can take off those two bolts. At that point, it should slide out pretty easily. The installation is gonna be a little bit different because we're gonna add those support braces. Like I said, we're gonna not use this bolt, and it's going to connect the bottom portion of the lower control arm to the bottom of the bushing mount. Let's see if it connects. It does. So I'm just going to grab the bottom bolt and just take it out. So I'm over on the driver's side, and I'm going to start to loosen the sway bar end link at this top corner here. And what I need to do is loosen it. So I have a wrench here, an extra long one, and then this hex key here. And we're just going to start to loosen it up. Looks like it is working. It's getting looser. So I just got to keep working it. Just gonna move it out, just gonna wiggle it, and now it's released. And right on the bottom here, I'm gonna do the same. Took that out earlier. We should be able to slide this end link out. So now that it's removed, you can take a look at the bushings. It looks like it's still intact. The rubber is not cracked or anything like that, so we can go ahead and reuse this entire arm. And we're going to do the same on the other side, so I'm just going to put this aside and we'll come back to it. So check it out, with the two end links removed, the sway bar is no longer at load. Good to go to remove these two 12mm bolts holding down the sway bar. So I'm going to use my impact gun here, and you can see that the sway bar has been disconnected from the top there. We just need to make sure we put it back in the same spot. So I'm going to take the bracket off. And let's go ahead and jump on the passenger side. We're just gonna slide it through and slide it under. So check it out, I have the two sway bars side by side here. You can see that the bushings are still on this one, and then the stock one actually has what I would say it's a built-in lateral locking link. So these are the lateral locking links that they had mentioned that we had to tighten with an Allen key when we mount it back to the car. And this has a built-in one here, and this is the one we're going to add on this aftermarket Whiteline sway bar. So what I'm going to do right now is just kind of show you guys the difference between the two. Mostly just kind of measuring the OEM one. So this is a 20mm sway bar, and I'm just going to measure it real quick. 20.8 millimeters. But they say it's a 20mm sway bar. And then over here, this is a 16.11. So I'm seeing a 16mm sway bar for the stock Forester, and we're just bumping it up 4 millimeters. I'll probably start by setting it at the softest setting in the corner here, and then go from there. So I think that will be a good start to using this 20mm sway bar, and then we'll slowly upgrade if we want a little bit more performance. The instructions do say that we don't need to put too much in the center of it. I'm just going to put a little bit, but they are saying that we don't need to put any, but at the same time they give us bushing grease. So my assumption is we'll just put a little bit here, just where the friction areas happen, and then we'll put a little bit at that bushing connection. There is a little insert here, and we'll just connect it to the main section of the sway bar. It's on pretty tight. We got it on. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do here is install those lateral locking links that they give us, or the lateral locks. So make sure I still can move this around. I can, and we'll come back to that. So I put the bushing on. I've added the lateral links locking. So all I need to do is just put the sway bar back. You want the curb to be facing up, just like we took it down. You can see that there's a top curb with the blue marker on the left side. We just want to follow the same curve when we put it back. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just taking the new one and just sending it through. There you go, and it's sitting right here right now. What I'm going to do is take a little bit more grease, put it around the bushing. So now I'm going to grab one of the bolts, and I'm just going to line up the sway bar bracket up there. You can see that. I'm just going to throw a bolt in there. Alright, this will allow us to slide this back and forth as needed. And then let's jump over to the other side so we can get this kind of thing hanging in the right place. Alright, so we're ready to install the support braces. And one thing to note is the support braces are different. So they say the right one has a groove, so I'm going to use that one. And the left one does not have a groove. So the groove is this little marker here. You can see on this side it doesn't have a groove. So that's what they're saying. So I'm going to go ahead and this is the right side next to the exhaust. So that's the one I'm going to place in there. And pretty much you take the new bolt they gave you. You're not going to use the OEM one. You're going to put the locking washer there, as well as the larger washer, and you're going to stick it in this hole, and then just tighten that area there. And then over here we're going to do that later, but I'm just kind of getting it prepped right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and start to tighten it up a little bit. Then I'm also going to start to connect the sway bar. Let's go ahead and do that.
I'm gonna swing the sway bar, connect the furthest mount to it. The link is connected, I just need to put the nut on top. And so that gives us a nice position for where the bushing should remain. So even though nothing's tightened yet, I have the sway bar link connected to where it's supposed to be. It's connected to the sway bar. Now it's slid down a little bit, and I can actually move this locking link a little bit closer, and then eventually this arm will connect here once I disconnect it. It's going to be a 17mm, but right now I'm going to just do the other side as well. So at this point, we're able to center the sway bar, and then we can tighten those top bolts, and then we're gonna have to work on these bottom section here. All right, so one thing we have to do is actually take off this nut here. I'm not gonna take off the whole bolt, just the nut only, such that I could slide this bracket arm. I'm gonna take a 17 and loosen it. Alright, so you see that there. I'm going to loose a little bit so I can push it back through. So a few things to point out. What I've done is I've loosened and taken out the nut here. I do have this jack stand here just in case the arm fell, but the bolt's not coming out. I have a 17 socket holding that back side, and all I need to do is put the nut back since I've swung the arm through, and then I can start to tighten everything. So I'm gonna start to put this back where it's supposed to, and then over here I can start to tighten this with the 13. And this with the 12. Just gonna tighten the sway bar end link on this side. Alright, so there it is. We've done the driver's side. We haven't torqued everything down to spec because we're gonna tighten it down at load. But that's what we have so far. Now we just need to do the other side, which is pretty much removing that 17mm bolt again. So I'll go ahead and do that now. So it says to put this lateral locking clip at around 3 to 4mm after you center the sway bar. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. If you can see here, it's pretty close to 3mm. This I'm just gonna hand tighten it in place so it doesn't move. Just a small turn here. And that's in place now. I'm just gonna do the other side. So torque specs, these sway bar brackets, bolts, the first one is 12mm, it's gonna be at 22.1. Perfect. Alright, so check it out. I have tightened the top 2 bolts where the bracket is at spec. I've also tightened one end of the sway bar link, but the rest of it we had to actually tighten at load. So I'm going to bring down the car. Alright, the nice thing about the Forester, we're high enough that we can still slide underneath the car and tighten it down. Okay, we just need to tighten the sway bar end link here at 28 foot-pounds. And we'll do the other side at the same spec, 28 foot-pounds. Now we have the support beam where the lower control arm meets the center chassis. That's going to be at 59 foot-pounds.
And last but not least, this last one, also at 59 foot-pounds. So that's pretty much it. This here is the Whiteline 20mm rear sway bar, and we just installed it on the 2018 Subaru Forester. The smaller arms here are the support brackets or support braces, and we've tightened everything down to spec. And this completes the installation. I'm going to take it out for a test drive, but I think it's going to be a lot better in handling. Thanks for watching. Have a good one and take care.